A single red light, a stopped train, and a gang of ordinary men about to attempt the impossible. In the dead of night, they were seconds away from vanishing into history, with a fortune no one thought they could take. In the still hours before dawn, a mail train rumbled through the English countryside, carrying more money than anyone dared imagine. It was August the 8th, 1963, and by sunrise, Britain would be gripped by one of the boldest heists in history. The Glasgow to London mail train made this same journey every night. Quiet, predictable, unguarded by anything more than routine. Inside its carriages sat sacks of used banknotes, bound for destruction. Money the Bank of England considered worthless. But to a group of men watching from the shadows, it was anything but worthless. They called themselves ordinary criminals, small-time thieves, con men, and drivers, until one plan made them infamous. The mastermind was Bruce Reynolds, a sharp, well-dressed thief with expensive taste and a gambler's nerve. Reynolds had spent months studying the railway schedules, searching for the one flaw that could turn a train into a fortune. He found his opening at a quiet signal point called Sears Crossing, deep in the Buckinghamshire countryside. There, the gang rigged the trackside signal light, turning it red to stop the train in the dead of night. At 3:17 in the morning, the driver, Jack Mills, saw the red light and brought his engine to a halt. He had no way of knowing the signal was fake, powered by a hidden battery placed there by men waiting in the dark. Within moments, the gang swarmed the locomotive, moving with practiced precision. A struggle broke out in the cab, a scuffle of shadows and shouted orders beneath the engine's hissing steam. Driver Jack Mills was struck during the confusion, a blow that would leave him shaken for the rest of his life. The robbers uncoupled the train, separating the engine and the first two carriages from the rest. They forced Mills to drive the shortened train half a mile down the line, to a quiet bridge called Brightigo. There, more men waited, a human chain ready to move mail bags faster than anyone thought possible.
Keep your nerve, everyone.
In just under 20 minutes, the gang unloaded 120 sacks of cash from the train, working in near silence, passing bundle after bundle down the embankment to waiting vehicles. When it was over, they vanished into the night, leaving behind a stalled train and a stunned railway crew. The haul totaled £2.6 million, an almost unthinkable sum for 1963. In today's terms, it would be worth well over $50 million. The gang retreated to a hideout, a remote farmhouse called Leatherslade Farm, just miles from the crime scene. For a few days, they believed they had pulled off the perfect crime. They played cards, celebrated quietly, and waited for the search to die down. But their confidence became their undoing. The farmhouse was left behind in haste, fingerprints untouched on bottles, board games, and stacks of newspaper used to wrap the cash. When police finally traced the hideout, the evidence told its own story, clear, damning, and impossible to deny. One by one, detectives began matching prints to faces, and faces to names already known to Scotland Yard. The manhunt that followed manhunt became one of the largest in British history. Newspapers ran the story for weeks, turning the robbers into both villains and, to some, folk heroes. Bruce Reynolds went on the run, slipping across borders under false names, always a step ahead of capture. Others weren't so fortunate. Arrests came swiftly, and courtrooms filled with reporters eager for every detail. In the trial that followed, the sentences were severe, some stretching across 3 decades behind bars. The severity shocked the public. Harsher, many said, than sentences handed down for violent crimes. But one man became the face of escape itself. Ronnie Biggs. In 1965, Biggs scaled the wall of Wandsworth Prison, dropping into a waiting truck below. He fled to Australia, then finally to Brazil, where distance and law kept him beyond reach for decades. For 36 years, Biggs lived as a fugitive, a symbol of daring far beyond his role in the crime. Reynolds, too, was eventually caught, arrested years later, after a life spent constantly looking over his shoulder. One by one, the robbers were found, tried, and sentenced, the myth of the perfect crime unraveling piece by piece. Of the millions stolen, only a small fraction was ever recovered. The rest disappeared into hidden accounts, spent fortunes, and stories that were never fully told. For driver Jack Mills, the robbery left a lasting mark. His health never fully the same after that night on the tracks. His empty chair at the rail depot became a quiet reminder of the human cost behind the headlines. The Great Train Robbery reshaped how Britain viewed crime. No longer distant news, but something audacious enough to captivate a nation. It inspired films, books, and endless fascination with the men who dared to stop a train in the dark. Decades later, Ronnie Biggs returned to Britain in 2001, frail and aging, choosing to face the country he had evaded for so long. He served his remaining time, a final chapter to a story that had spanned nearly 4 decades. Today, the tracks near Sears Crossing carry trains once more, ordinary and unremarkable to any passing eye. But for those who know the history, that quiet stretch of countryside still echoes with one unforgettable night. The Great Train Robbery remains a story of ambition and consequence. A reminder that even the perfect plan leaves footprints. And in the end, it wasn't the money that defined these men, but the price each one paid for it.